Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Monkeypuzzle, and this is episode number 21 of Monkeypuzzling the CrackPack. There's the Wizard's Peak up there, and I'm in a really simple little AFK spot I made over under the Wizard's Peak, where I go when I want to let that grinder I made, that auto spawner grinder I made last episode, when I want to let it run. And, you know, I thought we would just stay in here all episode and just have a talk. Oh, just kidding. There's a lot of stuff to do. I did a bunch of stuff. This was a really hard work week, so I wasn't able to record much, but I was able to work in the evenings and do some things. So let me show you what I did. First, a little recap. We made this auto spawner grinder last time, or I'd made it and I showed it to you. And I let it run overnight with blazes after that episode. And we now have about 25,000 blaze rods. So that's probably all I'll ever need forever. We can just dismantle this thing now. Unless we use it as a fuel source or something like that. Anyway, this thing works great. And the farms out here, they work great. I had to actually take the golems out because I was getting so much. Like, for example, I have 125,000 cotton. I forget the numbers on the sugar cane and the wheat. And there's so much wood right now, too. I think that one's still running, actually. You can see a rubber tree, a Mine Factory Reloaded rubber tree coming down over there, but that's all right. We can let those guys keep going. But yeah, these were highly successful. And over there, we will visit there in a second. There is the village upgrade we made. But today, I was going to start Ars Magica, and I know I'm months late for Ars Magica, you know, relative to when a lot of other people have done it. But I'm going to get there, and we're going to fill the Wizard's Peak up there with that probably the very next episode. Even though I keep saying that. But I got distracted by something really fun. Oh, and by the way, when the blazes run in here on don't spawn exact copy, just on the regular mode, this thing actually generates mob essence. So these are quite full. Actually, I turned Wayla off, but there's some things it's useful for, like seeing these numbers. So I'll turn it back on. So the blazes turned out could run indefinitely, generating mob essence. But let's move on. I'm going to go like this so you don't see something till we get there. It's not that big of a deal, but over here, you may be wondering what this is. We got 3 coke ovens and all these cyclic assemblers and a rolling machine and these drums full of creosote. Well, basically, this is a railroad making industry right here, which is what Covert Jaguar had in mind when he made it so much harder to make tracks in Railcraft. It's not the same vanilla recipe at all. You have to do all this stuff. So I've got this thing going. We've got the coke ovens going. Oh, look at that. And are things full? Oh, everything's full. Okay, well, that's good. And not only do we have these drums down here, but down here, back in the works, we've got all these drums as well. So quite a bit of creosote, and that generated quite a bit of coal coke. And the whole thing is fed by these ender chests right here. So the coal that's going into these coke ovens comes out of this ender chest, which is filled with coal from the AEME system back at the Roguelike base. I wanted to do it all black, but someone already took that. And then for the rest of making the rails, we've got these cyclic assemblers set up with the recipes. This one is set up with the recipe to make an oak wood slab, and this one is set up with the recipe to make the rail ties. I forget if that's the exact name of them. It's basically 3 of these in a row, but it requires creosote oil, which is being the limiter right now. So if we turn one of these barrels on, so it sucks it up, you can see everything getting active. Now it's getting the creosote oil, and it's making the wooden ties, and then 4 of those together, just in a little pattern like that, is making the wooden rail beds. And then those are going over here, and with the rails, when they come into here, that ends up making, and it should be going over just fine. Yeah, that ends up making the tracks. So, and they come out 32 at a time. What's going on? Oh, something is turned off. Oh, okay. There we go. I had turned that off because I actually wanted to collect some wooden rail beds. So there we go. Demonstration's happening again. And this thing is now filling up with tracks. Many, many, many tracks. And the rails come from the roller in a pattern just like that. And then I can control these going in just by turning this lever on. And that's coming out of this chest that's full of iron, also supplied the same way. And the wood for the slabs is coming out of this chest that is full of planks. And then the coal coke goes into my little universal collector ender chest that everything else goes into, that feeds into the ME network. So we can make all the rails we need. So that lets you know basically what the next thing's going to be. I made a railroad. I know I can fly and I can teleport and I can do all those things, but railroads are just fun, especially when you have purple and orange locomotives. And it's something I got to do. It's one of the things that makes me really have fun with this game. So I've got a little thing set up and we are going to go for a ride. What do you think? First, let me send this around one time and just show you this little setup. So it goes around, and over here, it gets ender pearls for... Now what's happening? Oh, I have it idle. Okay. You know, you prepare for these things and you try to be so slick, but there's always something. Anyway, this one gives it the coal coke, and I gotta watch out, actually, because locomotives are something that can easily kill you. Now, it's only in... Well, it's in speed 3, and that wouldn't always kill me, but it can. So it's also playing with fire a little bit with this. That you can die. But yeah, it parks under the liquid loader here, so that if I have it idling like that, it always stays full of water. It has to go around once to get full of the coal coke. And then this is basically a chunk loader on wheels. And for every ender pearl that goes in there, it gets 12 hours of chunk loading. So this is when I want to just send it off, like at Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, if any of you are old enough to remember that. And it goes off and it comes back. So that is a fun thing. So yeah, let's go for a ride. Oh, actually, first let me make sure that we can actually go on the ride. There we go. And hop in, and I will be your little conductor. Woo woo! So let's go. Everything's set. Off we go. And so we go down through the bottom of the mountain. There is the grinder, the bottom of it over there. And then we'll go off on a little ride. There is the sugarcane farm, and the sheep are over there, past these paving stones of warding, and there's the mushrooms. And on your left, there you see the mushroom farm, and on the right, there's our nice willow trees. Oh yeah, and there is our Wizard's Peak up there at the top, and the wheat farm. Now I've got these limiters of the speed. I'll show you in a second. Why don't I just go ahead and idle this right now and hop out for a second. I've got these limiters set right here. These control the speed of the locomotive, and actually I need to change this one to a 3. There we go, because it gets stuck if it's not going that fast when it goes through there. But I turn it to a 1, the slowest speed possible, when it goes through this little section of village that the villagers have access to, because I don't want to kill them. And there's quite a few guys in here. It's nighttime. As a matter of fact, let me see. Let's change it to daytime, because we're going to want it to be daytime for our ride anyway. But that will just make things ridiculously active here too with the villagers, which is ridiculousness is always a good thing. Okay, guys, come outside. So I've been having a lot of fun with this village upgrade. These guys love their new house. In fact, they've completely abandoned, for the most part, their old houses. I hardly ever see them even go in here anymore. Out with the old and in with the new. I think villages must find like a center of mass, and this is where it is at this point. So yeah, we've got quite a population. I love how building a building can make this whole thing come to life. And I've been getting to know everybody, and I've been doing some trading with them. Over here, we've got that trading post from Extra Utilities. And if you remember, or you were there when we started, we only had about 5 trades. And now we're two and a half pages into it. And some of the trades don't even show up here. So I've been trying to do my best trading with these guys. This is my box of my spoils here. And I'm kind of stuck on some of them. I've probably been wasting emeralds, really. But, you know, I got some citrus wood and I got some ebony wood. Probably the coolest thing, I think, is I threw the little forestry guys, the ones in the green, wherever they are. One of these dudes, these guys. I managed to get some trees I didn't have, like a cedar sapling. And then the other one was like a lime quat or something like that. And that one, sour cherry sapling. So you can see them off in the distance over there. That's the great cedar, and that's the sour cherry, and that's the lime quat over there. So new trees, new woods, new color stuff. These guys are the music dudes, and I was hoping to get all the records from them, which I could easily do with a creeper thing. But I get to the note blocks, and spending the emerald with the note blocks is like, okay, whatever you got to do. They all have the same radio, and we have to, radio channel. We have to actually make one of these radios. I think it's Extra Utilities. They all got the audiophile Baroque, which is not very interesting. I mean, you know, I have nothing against Baroque music, but I want all the channels, but we have a lot of them anyway. And then you can spend emeralds for a jukebox. I guess one time that's a good deal. But I haven't been able to get much farther with these guys. He's got a nice little slime hat there. Anyway, take one more peek here, and we'll move on. I did get some mana beans, which I could go out in the world and get as well. I got a monastic drone. Oh, and knowledge fragments, actually, are the one thing I really wanted to do villager trader for, because that's the only way you can get them besides in chests. I had a very limited amount of them. Hey dude, I got 6 golems now just from building this building, and so that will be really helpful for making sure that we thoroughly finish everything in Thaumcraft. And these are just the things I'm trading them for some of these other things, so I'll keep playing with that. Nothing too interesting to do on camera right now, but I just wanted to show you where I got with that. So yeah, on this little ride, can do some updates. So let's get back in and move on. And it'll automatically speed up once I get past here. You know, I don't want to kill my forestry villager. Huh? He said thank you. So yeah, I got a little ride going to where our next zone of influence is going to be. I found something not too far that way, and I wanted to be connected to it. And we're going to see 4 bridges along the way, and this is probably the funnest way to do this ride. So this one here is a trestle bridge, and let me see, actually I can do this. Let's idle. Okay, and let me get out of F5 because I don't work too well on F5. Float around a little bit and just check out each bridge as we see it. None of them are too fancy, and they're all works of in progress, and I'm sure you've seen much fancier things than this, but I was trying to be somewhat realistic in my engineering of how to get across the water in each case. So we just got a simple little trestle bridge to go through the tropics right here. And I love the tropics. They're really fun. They got these palm trees that look really good. I like how they all go off on little angles. And the hibiscus flowers. And the orange cosmos. I don't think cosmos are really tropical, but what the heck. And this place is really fun. I did a little fly through in the intro, and I showed it to you before, but it's got a little island of Dr. Moreau kind of feeling, the evil scientist kind of island. So we may put something in here at some point. It's kind of fun to go through it. And on to the next part. And I found while I was doing this that the tropics have some evil little jungle spiders, these little green guys that give you horrible, horrible blindness. Oop, got a little lag there. You can lag out a bit on this train. I made my family turn off all the rest of the internets while we do this, so that we could have as lag-free of an experience as possible. Anyway, we're coming upon the next bridge. So let's get over here, and I will turn this off one more time and show you this one. Oh, and I left my hover on. So yeah, this is the mossy, kind of old-looking bridge. It's made out of mossy cobble and mossy stone brick that are chiseled. Hung some vines off of it. Nothing very big deal either. A couple little creeper faces. But I had fun just, doing them. I might change them as I go along, add to them. But I just needed to get over the water, and I wanted to make it somewhat fun while I did it. I think... Oh, there, it went back. For a second, it looked like it had switched around. And it had, but now it went back. So let's go on and see what's next. So now we're going to go through a jungle proper. And I had to really carve through. You know what? Last time I got stuck here too. And I'm not sure exactly why that is. I'm missing the track. Okay. Oh, and you may notice I've got a Trackman's backpack here, which is able to keep all this new stuff in there. So that was pretty useful. Wonder if I can put that on. Oh yeah, wait. There we go. Almost missed my train. And I thought it was the ocelot that did that to me last time. But it was good because it saved its life. There was a whole little family of ocelots crossing the tracks. So here is my attempt at a suspension bridge made out of jungle materials on a diagonal. I know you didn't see that very well. Let's see. Let's stop on this one. Idle. And these will be the last two bridges I show you, so don't worry. Let me get out of there and fly a bit. Woo! Get into a mode I can work with. So we'll skip to this one first. I was trying to find an interesting color to build with. I'm not sure if bricks were the best choice. These are those red rock bricks from those biomes, which I always liked. And just tried to do something interesting with this and tried to make it somewhat realistic with the engineering. I may switch out the material entirely, but I think it goes pretty well with the autumn forest. And just a recap over here, this one is meant to be sort of a jungle style. I used the chiseled wood. This is spruce wood that's chiseled with that same trestle pattern over there that I used the extra utilities recipe to make fences with. And it's hard to do things on a diagonal. You got this little jagged thing going on, but I'm cool with it. I can believe that would get me over the water, and I like it. So yeah, I had some fun building bridges and getting the train over here. So let's get back in the train and keep going. And we're going for a ride. We're going riding on the train. And the train goes woo 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 woo. So we're just about to reach our destination here. The whole reason that I made this train ride is I wanted to get over here. And if you know my favorite biome, it's this one. Whee! The Sacred Springs biome. Pachunk. And we flew into it because we don't want to litter it with tracks. Yep. So let me get out of there again. And let's see. Let's get into hover. Yeah, so not very far from my Wizard's Peak, I loaded some new chunks over here. and found this nice Sacred Springs biome, which one of my ultimate goals, which I said in the very first episode, was to build a super base. Not necessarily like the everything machine base, but just the aesthetic super base over here in a Sacred Springs biome. And this is actually the fifth one I've come across at this point. And I'm going to choose this one, A, because it's so close to the Wizard's Peak and we can take a train ride to come over here and jump over on top of a tree. Hopefully I didn't scar this tree up too much by putting rail tracks on top of it. The other reason is it's got all the cool stuff nearby. Over here we've got the lavender biome I like so much. We've got a roguelike dungeon in it, which actually might create some lag problems because of all the spawners, but after I conquer it, we can clean it out. And then over here we've got the bamboo forest, and we've got the autumn woods biome, which I love. And if we can get it to load in over here, we've got a little bit of the Origin Valley biome, back from the alpha days of Minecraft, like Zisto's doing his playthrough again of, so we can have a little glimpse of that. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, right over here is another one of my favorite biomes. What's this one called? It is the pasture. So let me see. Let me turn it to daytime once more by sleeping. I know I shouldn't sleep on the job while I'm doing a little YouTube episode, but I just did. And let me see. Let's go ahead and send this train back home while we finish the episode. So to do that, a little switch here, it goes back, and then whee! There you go. Bye-bye, train. And it's going to make it all the way back to the Wizard's Peak all by itself. So that's awesome. You can see the launchers right here. These are the launcher tracks. They need a redstone signal to operate. So I use the redstone paste because a redstone line just across here actually won't trigger it, won't connect. And these have the ability to do that little jog there without putting a line of repeaters, which is what you'd have to do in vanilla. And then down here, this thing, which you can't see very well, is the detector. It's a powered cart detector, or it's this thing actually. Excuse me. And it detects if a powered cart goes over it, not any cart, but a powered cart, and that's so I can jump both directions. That was my little clever trick, because when it jumps, the locomotive lands over here, and the other carts don't trigger this to make it jump again. And same when you go in the other direction over here with our little launch pads. So that's how I pulled that off, just with the redstone paste on the side and the powered cart detector on the end there. Yeah, so on the other way you could go here with this little switch is this way. And what this will do is it will jump up this way to a platform like this one that is located. Basically, the jump that the train can do is going to determine the final place where I can set this. But up here, somewhere like this, is going to be the basis of our base, the basis of our base in this biome. And just to demonstrate, I'm going to build it once more with the modular force field system. But you guys have seen me do that a couple times. I'm not going to try to pull that off this episode. But what I'm going to do is something like this. These little building guides are very cool for envisioning things, and I could use them to place everything, but I'm going to be lazy and use the force field system to do that. But let's make this a lot bigger. Oh, maybe 17. And then if I remember correctly, let me see, I can't actually see out there anymore to get my bearings. Oh, there it is. These two sides make these bigger. So let's get that up to 17 and that up to 17. I don't know if that's going to be the number. Let's see. Actually, let's just fly off like that and take a look. and you can only see this thing when you're so close. So I'm going to build it out of Tinker's glass, clear glass, and maybe I'll dedicate an episode to building it and filling it. But I'll try to keep it brief because, like I said, you guys have seen me use MFFR, MFFS plenty of times now. So I don't want to be too redundant. But I haven't actually built a full sphere yet, although I have done lots of domed and rounded surfaces, which is what this is good for, because that's what's so hard to build in regular Minecraft. So why not use that for this? But I wanted to make the classic biosphere with this, where it's going to be clear glass with a contained atmosphere inside to protect you from the rain. But inside, I want to fill it with soil and grass and water. We can even have a whole little underwater area in there. And put trees and bees and flowers and stuff. So I think it's going to be pretty natural setting inside of it, not very mechanical at all. And I could actually make a series of these and connect them with little tubular causeways or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but that's going to be the theme. So I will get to that in one of the upcoming episodes. And this is definitely not the end, but this is one of my big goals I wanted to do, was a base in the Sacred Springs biome. Oh, and over here, we have jungle over here too, which is cool. And we even have a slime island. So yeah, this is where it's going to be. We'll work on that next time. But I probably talked for a good lengthy while already. And one of my goals actually with this episode is I usually have these pieced together highly edited episodes, and in this one I wanted to see if I could do a single playthrough. I may do a few little cuts for coughs and things like that, but yeah, just wanted to do a single one, get something out there, show you guys all the progress I've made, what I've been up to. I hope you enjoyed our little train ride. Maybe very exciting for some. Well, it certainly is for me. I'm going to definitely have my little hijinks just going back and forth there and stuff. So anyway, I really appreciate you all watching, helping the channel grow. If you like this, I don't usually ask for that, but if you like this, please go ahead and like it and get your friends to subscribe and so on and so forth. And we'll do more and more and more. So I got plenty of ideas left, and those will happen next. Okay, this is Monkeypuzzle, and I'm signing out. Bye-bye.